Okay. I mean, you nearly gave me a heart attack there. I was thinking, well, have I lost already? I'm all nervous here in the studio, but I'm thinking to myself, oh no, have I lost already? Do I have to start over again? But anyway, thank you for coming on the show this evening.
Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome. You're most welcome. You know what? I'm just going to let you introduce yourself because I'm trying to contain my excitement. I know my listeners have been saying to me, Double Nine is always excited on the show. Why is he always excited? But I have great guests, and this one takes it up a notch as well because, I'm not going to spill the beans. I'll let her introduce herself. So tell us, who do we have on the show this evening?
Hi, everyone. So here I am, style icon Nat.
Oh my gosh.
For those of you who know me, I go by the name Sin, style icon Nat, aka Natalie, or is it the other way around? Natalie, aka style icon Nat. And I am a stylist and style and beauty writer, content creator.
Okay.
So lots of strings to my bow, as it were.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. I think she's just being modest, as always. There, I think I will reintroduce her my way, the Double9Radio way. So this is the amazing, award-winning lifestyle writer, digital content creator, and celebrity stylist or style icon.
Yes.
The one and only Natalie Robinson, aka Style Icon Nat. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I love that. I love that intro. It's great to start with a bang, and I love your energy, and I'm feeling energized at the moment. I really am.
Fantastic.
Great to be on the show.
Great. I'm honored to have you on the show because I have a royalty within the fashion industry on the show this evening. For those who don't know, but that brings to my next question actually. So people don't listen to me and giving you. Saying all this great things about you, but they're wondering, who's Natalie Robinson? Why have I heard of her? Maybe some of them have been living in a cave for the past 10 years, who knows? But just in case they don't know who you are, can you just tell us, who's Natalie? If anyone was to ask you, who is Natalie, what would you say?
Natalie is a unique expression of a creative power, which basically translates to my passion for creativity, fashion, and that stems from styling, that's how I started. I love to write, I love to, express myself through my work, and, that's very much, what I do. I'm a creator, and I like to I like to express myself in a unique way, using the talent I have, and just to influence and motivate, educate people in the best way possible.
I'm blown away already. I'm blown away. I told you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited. You see why I'm excited again? My excitement, is just going up and up. But I will try and, maintain it. What she said there, she said she's a unique expression of creative power. That's such a powerful statement. I actually like that because I think I'm going to be influenced by your, creativity or your creative power this evening.
Yeah, and I think all of us have a hidden talent, and it's something that you're either aware of, you learn along the way, and when you do, you take hold of that and you kind of nurture that talent and help yourself to evolve and to influence, as I said. And I feel like, my platforms are very much sort of a way to, just to kind of get people talking.
Yeah.
And to, use just to sort of help people. And that could be, in terms of styling to help someone feel good about themselves. If it's in terms of writing, it's a case of supporting brands, particularly fashion beauty brands, emerging brands. So, I like to kind of see myself as a creator with influence, a creator who can, lead, by example.
Amazing.
Just to kind of simply inspire. And that kind of expression was, I would say, that derived from a sort of self-author and philosopher, Bob Proctor.
Yeah.
And he's someone I've been following or listening to for years. He has an array of sort of meditation videos.
Amazing.
Abundant videos. So I get a lot of my, inspiration from, those who are, who are sort of influencing or motivational speakers themselves.
Okay. I mean, that's really good. So, I mean, there are a couple of things I picked up from, while you're, giving a bit about who Natalie is as well. I mean, firstly, I picked out the unique expression of creative power. And the other thing is the evolution, evolving, being unique doesn't mean being stagnant. So you have to evolve because that uniqueness will change over time, isn't it? Because someone else might see that and try to copy that, but you then evolve to another, level to remain unique. And because you have this creative power as well, that makes it kind of easy for you to be that unique in your own field.
That's right. And I think it's imperative to reinvent yourself.
Yes.
And do you remember the film? Do you know the film Catch Me If You Can?
Yes. I vaguely remember it. Yes, I vaguely remember it. But I think you might be giving us more in depth into that. I can't remember the title, but I can't actually remember what the film was about again, really.
Yeah, well, I think it's just more about just sort of in terms of what you just said about, sort of always being one step ahead, reinventing yourself, and ensuring that you are, you're ahead of the time. That kind of phrase actually can mean, I'm kind of constantly, working, evolving, and creating new ideas, and so as not to kind of become stagnant, and to develop my brand, and develop other people's way of thinking, their thought process, their attitudes, along the way.
Fantastic.
I just feel like, particularly during a time like this, without kind of changing the narrative to, the current pandemic, but I feel like during a time like this, it's kind of helped a lot of people to really, sort of refocus themselves, realign themselves, become more creative. So I've become even more. I've been more creative than ever. But I mean, that sort of creativity, that sort of the love of fashion I have, and writing, which I've kind of, I'm from sort of literature background.
Yeah. I mean, I can feel the creative power. I can feel the creative power within you. While you've been talking, even with the pandemic, hasn't really stopped your creativity within yourself. But I wanted to go into your journey of evolution. Where going back and say, what were the early part of your career like? What jobs did you do? To get, I want to know that journey from the first job you got to where you are now, because your uniqueness is natural. It's natural. So with that, So with that, it kind of evolved through the way to get to where you are now. So if you could probably just give us a summary of your early part of your career, how it was.
Yeah, sure. Well, I've come a long way from McDonald's. Let's just put it.
Oh wow! Oh wow! I mean, my first job was KFC, so we're same hands. So it's all right then.
So that was my first ever job. Working as a party hostess in McDonald's. But I mean, the story really started way after that.
Okay.
Basically, when I graduated, I worked well, to be honest, I've been working even through my university days. And, one of my first retail jobs actually was in Selfridges.
Right.
And we worked for the bridal registry, which was very much kind of customer service focused. I left Selfridges. And then I sort of rejoined sort of much later, but after I had graduated, I worked in Harrods, and that's kind of very much how my journey as that's how my journey commenced.
Right.
In
Okay.
the fashion industry, and I basically looked after Donna Karan, which is an international brand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, it was very much, it was a great learning curve for me, such that I learned about, various fashion brands. But I did, a lot of learning, a lot of my, I would say, my interest and my love for fashion, and more so dealing with people, and helping them with their style choices, came about through, sort of observing the sort of the in-house personal shoppers.
Amazing. Amazing.
Walk around with customers, and I remember once when working on Donna Karan, when working there, a personal shopper came along with Piers Brosnan's wife.
Amazing. Wow.
And so I just observed her, and they worked hard, but it was very much a case of just sort of taking the customer on a journey.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd love to do that. I love working with people personally.
Is that when you decided to go into be fashion styling? Being a fashion stylist, right?
Right. So that's where my appetite for fashion for me been more so. And I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do at some point. I mean, at first it was law, but then, I've always been a creative person.
Yeah.
And just wanted to merge the creativity with, just working with people, basically. So, then I left Harrods to work in Brown's. Now, Brown's is still going. It's a boutique on South Newton Street, run by Mr. and Mrs. the late Mr. Bernstein.
Okay.
But that, I would say, that experience was very crucial in that it sort of helped me to learn about sort of international brands. So it kind of broadened my fashion spectrum, my knowledge.
Amazing.
That I've worked with more celebrities. I've noticed that a lot of celebrities like Lionel Richie, Sophie Dar, the granddaughter of Rolda, Kylie Minogue, Ewan McGregor.
Amazing.
Had an influx of celebrities.
Is it why I was so excited to have you on the show? My excitement has just been turned up a bit more now with all those names you mentioned. But I must say, there was one picture I saw where you sat with the editor of Vogue,
that's it, and that's another story. I mean, that came much later in my career as a fashion stylist, and where I travelled to Paris. When times were different then.
Yeah.
I did fashion months literally in Paris, Italy, London. And the only one I haven't done is New York, but that's where I met Anna Wintour. It was at the Chanel show.
Okay.
And I basically just I looked at her and said, "Can I have a picture, please?" She was like, I didn't kind of I didn't see any sort of raised eyebrows on her, signature shade she wears.
Yeah.
So she just basically, sort of gestured me over and said, no problem, it was fine. And so that's basically,
how that happened.
There.
Yeah, amazing.
And, sort of back to Brown's. So I worked with customers more on a one-to-one basis, and because the environment was much smaller, it was very intimate. There was more of an opportunity to really kind of hone in on the sort of the customer journey.
Yeah.
And sort of helping them with their just sort of helping them with their styling. So it was more hands-on, more intimate, and I gained sort of my sort of fashion knowledge.
Amazing.
Widened.
Amazing.
Much more.
Amazing.
And so that was a great experience.
Yeah. Amazing experience, if I can say,
It was, I have to say. But then I came across, I was yearning for more. I thought, okay, I've done sort of retail, I've done Harris, I've done the shop floor. It's not really what I want to do long term, you know, and I think everything you do helps you progress onto...
Of course, because you like to evolve, isn't it? Yes.
Right. So I came across a position, personal shopping role in Selfridges. I had to make a sacrifice such that I took a pay cut. At the time, it was paying, I think I was on like 19,000 around, and the personal shopper role in Selfridges was paying 15.
Right.
So it was an immense drop. However, at that time, but I made the decision anyway to move because that's really what I wanted to do. That's what I envisioned when I was at Harris, that I would be a personal shopper, and I'm very good at kind of visualization. So normally if I, you know, want to sort of manifest something, I'll think about it and I'll say, I want to do this. And before I became a celebrity stylist, I would say I am a celebrity stylist, and then it happened. Basically.
Amazing. Speaking what you want, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You're absolutely good. Power, confidence.
That's right. So, you know, I then took the pay cut, I took the plunge, worked with Selfridges, and it was probably, like, I would say, it cemented my personal shopping know-how. I learned a lot more in terms of sort of technical jargon and, you know, sort of just key things that you need to really know. You need to kind of speak the language of a personal shopper, and, you know, when you're sort of styling someone, kind of the certain terminologies you need to be aware of, you know, so, yeah, just to basically
I feel by the end of this you know, interview today, I'm going to be a personal shopper or something. I'm going to be a stylist. You know, maybe all these people are going to start looking for me as well, because I'm getting a lot of lessons from the fantastic Natalie this evening. But I mean, Natalie, how would you describe your personal style?
I'm classic. I'm classic, eclectic. I used to be really out there. I mean, if you see previous, like, older pictures of myself, like 10 years back, I'd be, you know, in Paris with the yellow hat and, you know, like coupled with just a cool t-shirt, and then, you know, very colourful, you know, ensembles I'd wear at the time. But I think as I've kind of matured, my style has almost matured, it's kind of pared down. So I kind of focus on key staples. So, you know, I love a good jacket, a tailored jacket. You know, I'm very much about, you know, a lovely bag. And just sort of key pieces that will kind of complement the rest of my outfit. But I'm very much kind of monochrome. You know, I do love colour, but more so I would say, you know, accessories. But yeah, I'm kind of that, classic for sure, with a bit of a twist from time to time.
From time to time, because, you know, it's Nat. Nat has to be unique. You can't find another Nat. It's only one likely out there. Only one Nat. Only one. You know, so I mean, you know, you described your evolution of your personal style from, you know, a bit of brightness now to a bit of like classy, you know, chic, I should say. You know, did anything influence that, or were you just doing that because it's just time, or your evolution coming into play again?
Yeah, I think a lot of my upbringing has played a major influence on my style. I mean, you know, I've always loved 80s fashion, you know, 80s music, MC Hammer, you know, the harem trousers, the dresses, the big shoulders. You know, I'm also influenced by film. You know, I love watching old movies.
Nice.
You know, there is this particular films like Working Girl. You know, where started Sigourney Weaver, I believe, where, you know, it's very much centered around power dressing and, you know, female empowerment, and, you know, so I'm very much influenced by music, film, of sort of around the 80s.
Amazing. I mean, I would agree that when you look at your pictures and, you know, your fashion sense speaks confidence. You know, you don't even need to speak. Like, it's just the look, the way you put the clothes together, it just speaks confidence. Don't mess with me. It's Natalie here. You know, I've arrived. You know, it's only one me. Yeah, I like.
Yeah, totally.
I love that. I love that. So if I was to look in your closet now, not that I'm going to come and look in your closet, I'm just asking. What would be what would be the favorite item I would find in there? What would you say is your favorite item in that closet?
Yeah, I would say my most favorite. I mean, I have many of these. Sometimes it's difficult to choose because there are things that you kind of discover along the way that you haven't worn in such a long time.
Mm.
But I would say my favorite item would have to be my Louis Vuitton bag. Why?
Mm.
Because it's classic, and I remember at a time, like in sort of retrospect when things were not great. I kind of went through a sort of financial roller coaster ride, and
Yeah.
and I decided to actually sell a lot of my bags. I mean, I've made a lot of money, I've lost a lot of money, and the one thing I kept was my Louis Vuitton bag.
Mm.
So that's kind of seen a lot. That's been through the trials and tribulations with me. So it has that kind of sentimental value to it. But it's also classic, and with Louis Vuitton,
Yeah.
it's good investment.
It is. It never goes out of fashion, isn't it? Yeah.
It never goes out of fashion. So there's one bit of advice I like to give to my clients is that it's very, invest in it's key pieces, investment pieces. You can never go wrong with a Hermes bag. I've not said I have a Hermes bag, not at the moment. Or a classic designer bag. A watch, Rolex, Cartier, these investment pieces. It could be just the one thing, but I think you don't have to go all out. I don't believe in dressing head to toe in designer stuff, or I think even if you have one thing that has longevity,
Mm.
but that's I would have to say that's my most sort of favorite. That's my favorite item.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, I mean, I'm trying to maybe let our listeners get some tips as well because this is an opportunity that they have to pay for. So see, listeners, see what I do for you. Bringing this fantastic, icon, style icon on the show, who's worked with so many celebrities out there, and she just shared with us what our favorite closet item is, which is the Louis Vuitton bag. I think that's amazing. So if you look at beauty essentials, what are your beauty essentials? What would you say, you can't do without?
Most definitely, I would say bubble bath.
Okay. Nice and simple.
I do I would say I mean I'm all about skincare, and I think during this time because there's not really anywhere to go. It's like okay, you're all dressed up, but nowhere to go. So what's the point in buying fashion items? But I love skincare, and I've always loved skincare. So I think the things that I can't do without are a good moisturizer, a serum, which you apply after cleansing, and then you apply your moisturizer and hand cream. I have to have hand cream for me is like a staple. So because I have dehydrated skin, so everywhere I go, that's a must. That's kind of like one of my beauty essentials. And
Amazing.
I love masks as well.
Okay.
So I do take care of my skin. I mean, I'm all about having beautiful, soft skin, and just, yeah. I mean,
flawless skin. See, I'm taking notes. I'm going to start doing some consultancy on skincare very soon.
Yeah.
And
cocoa butter.
And cocoa butter as well. I just took that down as well. Consultancy coming on the way. Ladies and gentlemen, watch out. Double9 is going to give you some skincare consultancy in addition to a show we might have in the near future. Okay, I mean, you describe your career, so well to us. You've met amazing people, had amazing experiences, been involved in styling some great celebrities as well. I mean, would there be a time you could describe and say in your career, and you thought, you know what, I've made it. This is where I want to be.
Yeah, wow, that's a great question. It's very thought provoking, and I would say there was a time actually where I was very happy with my achievement, and I think to say that I've made it, I feel like I'm still on a journey. And being the perfectionist I am, I'd always want more. But I felt there was a time when I dressed Shingai. She used to be in the Noisettes, lead singer of the Noisettes.
Mm.
And an opportunity came about to dress her for Well Child, of which Prince Harry is patron.
Right.
And normally takes place biannually at the Savoy.
Okay.
And the day when I styled her for the red carpet and her performance. I was in the same room as Will Smith, you know.
Amazing.
Like Will Smith flew to London because his son was touring alongside Justin Bieber.
Okay.
He went to see Shingai because he loved the music. And I remember, I'll never forget this time where it was myself, Will Smith, his friend, Shingai in this room, and I was kind of prepping. I mean, I didn't even kind of speak to him much. Why? Because maybe I was a bit nervous, I'm not so sure. But, you know, and then I was kind of sort of a bit out of nerve, say, hey, you know, I used to watch Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
You know, do the dance, the Carlton dance. I thought, no, that didn't happen. Thank you.
What? You did? Did you say you did a Carlton dance?
No, I said I was out of nerve.
Okay. I thought.
All
right. Okay.
Yeah. You know, I love Fresh Prince and Carlton. You know, I could have done the Carlton dance.
Okay.
Out of nerve.
But the nerves didn't allow it. Yeah.
But anyway, and that was quite a surreal experience. And I remember sort of like after the show, we went to the bar. There's a bar as you go into the Savoy. There's a bar on the left, and at the time, this is when Caroline Flack was alive.
Yeah.
And we were all in the bar chatting, and I thought, wow. I mean, this is like incredible achievement. You know, like not everybody gets to be in the
amazing.
Same, you know,
Yeah.
hotel room with that with Will Smith, but it was more to do with the fact that, you know, I had little time, which was often the case, little time to prep for stylist celebrity, and it's very much a last minute on demand job. It's very grueling, it's very challenging.
I can imagine.
So I used to get last minute requests, and you know, another time I thought I was very pleased with myself, and you know, one of my highest achievements was my actual the launch of my blog, the Lifestyle Collective, and you know, it did take a collective effort. I would say amongst other like-minded people, friends of mine, you know, those who have shared a similar interest mindset to come together, you know, and kind of we made it happen. But I pretty much did all the work myself, and I managed to organise this event from scratch. There were at least about 200 people in Tramp nightclub. I had the whole club to myself.
Amazing.
And I filled it with, like, you know, celebrities, and not just celebrities, but it was about people industry people, other industry people, friends, family, who came for me, and who came because of, you know, the work that I put in, and they obviously, I think, can resonate with that, and you know, it felt very empowering to kind of, you know, offer that experience to, you know, my circle of friends and family, and it was just amazing. So I would say in that sense, I felt like I really did sort of make my presence known within the blogging industry.
Amazing.
Because that's a hard industry to crack, and it still is.
That's really good. I mean, you mentioned a lot of you know, great people there that you've styled and, you know, been around, and also individuals you've been able to, you know, be part of their lives, you know, the fashion side of things, you know. I mean, do you consider yourself a trendsetter?
Yes, definitely, for sure. I mean, I'm not afraid to set a trend, or just, you know, I have things sort of quite wacky in my style. You know, I think, you know, trends are, you can either create trends or, you know, follow a trend. But, you know, I like to set the boundaries. I mean, I like to kind of basically, you know, style is limitless, you know. I mean, I think it's a case of just being original. And it doesn't necessarily mean in terms of your style. It could mean in attitude, you know, how you carry yourself. You know, and for example, I remember when I was in LA.
Yeah.
And I dressed Amy Willison, who appeared on the Jump and I'm Celebrity Get Me Out of Here. And we had that afternoon party, and so did she. So I dressed her. So in a well-known designer who dressed Kim Kardashian the year before, but it was a risk because we were kind of like, we wasn't sort of thinking about what maybe how the media would perceive her dress or anything. It was kind of like, we love this dress.
Wow.
It was a pink, bright pink dress. It ballooned out. It was very fitted, but as soon as we walked into the Four Seasons Hotel in Beverly Hills,
yeah,
one of the reps was in the room and taking, doing the fittings and everything. As soon as we walked in, we said, that's the one.
Amazing.
And pink wasn't huge at the time. What happened was well received by the British public and the US public. It was kind of, it was probably a bit too risque in terms of colour and style. But I kind of we went with our feeling, just that's basically that. And then a few years later, Rihanna's packed in a bright pink dress, on the red carpet for the Grammys. And, so it just goes to show, I think that you could just start a trend out realising it, and then the rest of the world may catch up.
Most definitely.
But I think you just got to it's good to take risks, it's good to kind of be fearless.
Yes, I mean, it does show, but I mean, it takes a lot of guts to actually, go for it. Like I'm just going for it because that's you. That's Natalie. Natalie's unique. Natalie's going to take chances and know that those chances will always come through. But my question is, because like when you kind of like start the celebrities, I mean, how do you choose what looks goes for each individual? Because everyone is as an individual, isn't it? It's kind of hard work to think, okay, this will go for A. I can't use the same I use for A. How do you choose what looks, work for each individual client?
I mean, I have to really kind of, I think, hone in on my product knowledge and just sort of research, really. I mean, you can't sort of take on a job, with sort of a blindfold on. You've got to kind of really get to know your client, build a rapport with them initially, ask questions, find out about their lifestyle, their wardrobe requirements, and body shape is a key thing. I mean, I'm all about body shape because if you don't know your body shape, you can't dress well for it. So that's how pretty much my work comes down to that. Knowing what suits body shape, be it male, female. I've had to learn about the different types of body shapes. As a male, for example, you could be a trapezoid, which is like an inverted triangle, I think. Or you could have there's just the basic knowledge that you need to know. And as I said before, the technicalities and the difference between a single-breasted jacket and a double-breasted jacket. Single-vented jacket, and know the difference in shirt collar, neck size, waist size. There's lots of things that you need to know.
Yeah, I mean, I said it already. I'm going to be a stylist by the end of this interview. I already know some of the skincare routine that needs to be done. So, yeah, I'm going to be charging people soon. So, okay. That's right. I mean, yeah.
It's experience as well. It's experience. And I think I also do, I do follow my intuition. So I can look at something and say, like with one of my regular clients, who I've helped even throughout lockdown just by a virtual styling session.
Okay.
Straight away work for her, got shocked for her, but over the years, for several years, and I know what styles will work for her body shape.
Amazing.
And so I can just pick out things for her. Just like that.
Amazing. That's the uniqueness of Natalie there, speaking forth. Okay, so we've worked with loads of celebrities, great ones, but if you was to choose a celebrity closet to shop in, who would that celebrity be and why?
Wow, that's great question. I would say, for some reason, Tina Turner popped.
Oh, wow. I like that.
She just is, isn't she?
She is.
I just think Tina, she's just wow. I mean, she's an inspiration. She is, and I just think just sort of seeing how her fashion has evolved over the years, and I think she's had to change her sense of style.
Yeah. Tone it down a bit,
Yeah, self-branding and that sort of thing. Yeah, I think she's a real inspiration. And there is another girl, she's quite famous, Olivia Palermo. I've always liked her style. She's a blogger.
Okay.
She's got the most amazing fashion sense as well. So I think, someone like that I'd love to kind of work with if I had the opportunity to do so.
Fantastic. Oh, let's talk about trends. There's trends now. It's kind of hard to actually pinpoint, from my perspective, what the trends are, because like the pandemic has had a really bad effect on us going out and seeing what's on there. We just look at what's on TV, what they show us. But I mean, what trends would you say, as a style celebrity, a stylist, I should say, or fashion stylist, what trends are you loving right now?
I would say, I think at the moment, it's just everything seems trendless, It's just at home and, but I think I'm loving the idea of like accessories, like chunky accessories. I'm making a comeback, like chunky chains.
Yeah.
That could be sort of in the guise of a necklace or something like that. But I think I would say, for me, I'd always love sort of jackets, but I would say accessories and just I think sort of loungewear, now, because everything is kind of focused, everything is sort of centered within the home.
Yeah.
I think I'm kind of, there just seems to be sort of what's trending are just accessories, shoes. I don't know why, because we're at home, but I think loungewear as well, just a lovely sort of elegant, sexy, lounge set, I would say.
And what trends would you love to see disappear, like vanish? No, like go away.
Yeah, well, I think sort of onesies, but I think they're.
I know. Oh my God, you said it right. I know. But you see people actually wear that out. I've seen people in supermarkets wearing that. I'm like, what are you doing?
I think more than I've never been like a fan of onesies. I think when they first came out, it was fine, but then no, that's fashion so apart at the moment. But I think, but I was just thinking actually, like in terms of menswear, because men's collection's just finished. That took place a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
And it was virtual, and I did notice, what's trending for men. Again, are accessories like is it the bumper bag worn across the body, puffer jacket, hats, woolly hats. So there's lots of, I would say, attention to coats actually, thick, heavy, juicy coats. It's where people are doing a lot of walking as well. I'm seeing that's definitely trending at the moment. A warm, trendy, sort of thick coat puff. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, let's go for a quick break and we'll be back on the other side to find out more about our amazing guest tonight, the stylist, celebrity stylist, award winner, Natalie Robinson, sharing some more insight into fashion with us this evening. Stay locked on, stay locked in. Trust me, you don't want to miss the other side. Welcome back to Double9Radio. It's 2021. We've got the amazing style icon, Natalie Robinson, that's sharing a lot of things around the fashion, celebrity, stylist arena, and also sharing things about what our stylist, what her, career journey has been. She's an evolution. She likes to evolve as well. There's one thing she said, I must remember that, which is that the unique expression of creative power, which I think is an amazing thing for her as well. So I just want to say welcome back to the show, Natalie. Hope you're having a great time on the show.
I'm having a fantastic time. It's great.
Fantastic. I'm glad you are. Okay, I mean, just before the break, we're talking about, what trends are you're loving and trends that, should disappear. You talked about trends that you're loving, the accessories are the things like the huge bangles as well, or and you talked about what should be disappear, the onesie. I can't agree with you more. I mean, I thought they should never have been made. They should, it should have been in a museum or something, but you see people wearing this out and about, but what can you say? You just have to kind of chuckle inwards when they wear it. Also, we talked about other things around your personal style, which you said is more of a classic style, which kind of evolved as you kind of matured into your role as a celebrity stylist as well. But I want to kind of like touch on your you have a t-shirt range, which is the hemp t-shirts, the Shades and Coffee t-shirt, if I got that right, eco-friendly brand.
Yes, that's it. It's Shades and Coffee, which is an eco-friendly range of t-shirts, and this is something I have been working on for a year before the pandemic happened, actually. And it was just something I always wanted to have a product, and I wanted just to start off with a simple product, the one product. And so I did a lot of research. I spent almost a year researching manufacturers, and the logo design was pretty easy because I worked with an illustrator. So this illustrator designed styleicon that. So I kind of got her to design the logo based on my concept of Shades and Coffee, look good, feel good. So, the brand was just to kind of basically epitomize just that sort of feel good, look good vibe. The shades, they're stylish, and it's kind of like an everyday thing we wear, staple, wardrobe staple, and coffee is like a staple in itself.
Of course, yeah.
Coffee in the morning, whenever. So it's kind of that evolved during lockdown. I then kind of found a manufacturer. So the brand is sourced in the US.
Yeah. There's something unique about the brand, as always. There has to be something unique. The eco-friendly.
That's it. So it's eco-friendly.
Eco-friendly. My beg your pardon there.
Yeah, so exactly, so eco-friendly, and there is a third-party website I also buy or sort of sell on, which is T-Meal, and during the process of sourcing a manufacturer and everything, I basically promoted. I use T-Meal, but they pretty much oversee everything, so production. And it's also organic cotton, production, everything. So you don't have to worry about anything, but they just kind of they take a cut. But with the hemp t-shirts, I actually purchased those myself and had the logo printed using water-based ink. And the company the printing company is based in the UK. So everything is kind of sort of eco-friendly and adhere to sustainable practices, fair trade practices, so on and so forth.
Amazing. That's really good. And the t-shirts are available online. Do you have an online shop where they can purchase this t-shirt?
I do. So the main website is actually www.shadesandcoffee.com.
Okay.
And there's also a podcast on there, but I don't do the podcast. That's somebody else. But yes, you can purchase the t-shirts online.
Okay, fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to snap it up now. I'll tell you, couple of months when pandemic is over, possibly the one and only thing you should be seen wearing designed by the one and only style icon, Natalie Robinson. You don't want to miss this opportunity. So go on to www.shadeandcoffee.com to get yours as soon as possible. Okay, now I want to talk about, you have a lot of misconceptions. A lot of people have this misconception that, once you work with a celebrity, I wanted to, I don't want to answer the question. Let me ask you the question. What do you think are the biggest misconceptions of people not working in your field, about your job?
I would say, I think it's that sort of, they may think it's quite a straightforward job, but in that it's just a case of, sort of picking out clothes for, someone, whether it's for a Joe Bloggs or whoever, or a celebrity, and, it's the kind of job that does actually require a lot of sort of thinking, there's more to it than meets the eye. And I think where, I have a lot of discipline from, sort of my university days, I like to research anyway, so my approach to my work is very much like this, very much like, like that. So, I think it's the sort of type of job that has, some people may not necessarily get, and it's not your traditional, I would say, sort of career choice. It's quite a lucrative, job. It can be, but at the same time, people think, wow, it's glamorous. You're working with all of these celebrities, and it's not as, it can be, it's not all glam, I make, my role is to make celebrities or whoever look glam, but behind it, there's a lot of graft. You've got graft versus glam, and I fit into the graft.
Amazing. One of the misconceptions I've heard people say is, anyone can be a stylist. Anyone can do this. I can just go to the shop and pick it out. And I look to them, and I say, and I think to myself, no, you have to have some kind of like experience. You have to have some kind of domain knowledge, and its technicalities you've been talking about now as well. I think that's quite important for anyone who wants to go into, fashion or wants to be a celebrity stylist, because
that's right. It's taken me a lot of years to build up my contact base, and that's the one thing I would say needs to be taken into account. I would, after sort of building up my contact base, if I needed something, within a certain time, I could just call someone on speed dial, or I walk into Selfridges or Harrods, and because of people I know, I could kind of get a personal shopping room when I needed, or there's certain things like when you're on let's say a mailing list, you do get privileges and benefits.
Of course.
So it takes time. It takes years of experience and building up your relationship, not just with your client, but with stores, to be able for them to trust you.
Yeah.
And for them to kind of, I could, years ago, I walked out of Harbour Nichols with 5 bags of designer pieces. Obviously they had the client's car, they wouldn't just let me walk out like that. But,
yeah, of course.
That's something that if they didn't know me, that wouldn't happen. So, I think in anything, it's all about trust and loyalty, and that's pretty much it. That's what it boils down to, and just building up that rapport with your client.
Amazing. Earlier in the show, you mentioned you liked, the fashion, the 80s fashion. But if you had an opportunity to actually go back in time beyond that, maybe 80s or, I don't know, earlier, what era would you end up in? And, why do you like that period, though?
Yeah, are you saying before the 80s or?
Because you already said 80s, I'm thinking, okay, is there any other era you would think, okay, I would love to be, representing this fashion era, because it's just amazing, Any other era apart from the 80s?
80s. I mean, I love the 60s. Again, it's very much sort of, very
Colourful.
It's sort of classic. It's I think that era was when women were just coming into their own, so to speak, and were becoming more, I don't know, kind of less afraid, to wear skirts, dresses, above the knee. So I do love that sort of classic era, and I like the 90s as well. Very much about sort of the 90s rebellion. One of my favourite designers is actually Vivienne Westwood.
Okay.
And I used to kind of, I went through a period of wearing like Dr. Martens and
nice.
A bit, then I was, so I basically, my style has literally ranged from like all sorts, let's put it that way. But
yeah,
I would say 60s, 80s, and the 90s.
I mean, you talking about shoes, just kind of reminded me of, the picture with Anne and the editor, the sandals you wore. I think, oh my, I'm like, that is so, I mean, she probably just saw that. Because she had those glasses on, she's probably staring at those sandals like, that is so beautiful. I thought that was really, I thought that was just really cool. I mean, who are those designers though?
I think when I think back, is I've got that picture here on my wall, and I do remember actually now the shoes were from Aldo.
Okay.
The shoes were from Aldo. The outfit, the monochrome dress, and the cape were from a designer called Godiva Fashion.
Right.
And they loaned me those clothes to wear. So I wrote a blog, and also that's kind of during that time of Paris fashion. When I went to Paris, then that's when I was blogging, but I hadn't officially launched most of the lifestyle collective. So a lot of my clothes, honestly, they weren't like designer stuff. I mean, the bag was.
Okay.
But it's how you wear it.
Exactly.
And that's what it's
yeah.
You could look $1 billion wearing common, and no one would know.
Exactly.
How you wear it.
Okay. I mean, I want to ask you a bit about African fashion. Have you ever kind of like, considered or worn any African designers or African, fashion items? Do you own any?
Yes, I have. I mean, I have a bag actually. I remember going to an exhibition at the Saatchi Gallery, and I forget, so it was a well-known exhibition, and I came across a beautiful collection of bags, and there was a portrait, a sort of face of an African lady on the bag, and she was wearing a beautiful African print headscarf.
Right.
And I spoke to the designer, we collaborated, and I haven't, that's on my blog. But anyhow, I basically, I'm all for supporting, sort of emerging brands.
Yeah,
I love the aesthetic more than anything.
Yeah.
I love the aesthetic and sort of African Fashion Week, as you know, also takes place prior to London Fashion Week.
Yeah.
So, I attended that, and I think it's good. It's important to have like a.
It is. I mean, you mentioned you mentioned African Fashion Week. I mean, the founder, we've had her on the show as well, and she's quite an amazing lady. Kind of shared a story of how it actually came about creating African Fashion Week London. But there's. When you look at African fashion and you look at I can describe it as mainstream fashion, which is like the top end fashion of, you mentioned Vivienne Westwood now, and all of those in that category, But why do you think African fashion actually struggles to get to that state of recognition? Is this something that they're not doing? Is it why do you think there's a discrepancy in you know in consideration of looking at African fashion, as in looking at the Vivienne Westwood, the Calvin Klein, the Louis Vuitton? Why is that so much a gap in between?
Yeah, I think that's because I think with sort of obviously with sort of London Fashion Week, that it's more mainstream, and I think it's kind of there's more media presence around London Fashion Week.
Right.
To be
Yeah.
honest, in comparison, Africa Fashion Week doesn't get, it doesn't get the presence or the recognition it deserves in the media. And I think that's because people are still learning, and it's a very niche market. It's
Yeah.
very niche, and it's specific. And I think with it's very different to commercial fashion in the sense that with London Fashion Week, I mean, it's still fashion is ready to wear is obviously sort of commercial. But with London Fashion Week and sort of
Yeah.
Milan, Paris.
Yeah. I think you make.
The global scale, they're more
Yeah.
recognised.
Yeah.
I think if there was more, I think it's really down to the organisers as well. The organisers to create
More media presence.
awareness.
Yeah.
More media. But that said, I remember I think a few years back, Africa Fashion Week took place in the Truman Brewery along Brick Lane.
Yeah.
And I think a year after, they showcased at Freemasons Hall.
Yeah.
Where the sort of the London Fashion Week hub, sort of the show takes place. And I think that was a real kind of journey, a sort of great, development from sort of the space at the Truman Brewery to there. So I think it's work in progress.
Yes, it is. It is. I mean, you made a point while you were, having, that discussion just now, where you touched on the ready-made aspect of, the mainstream ones that already exist and the African fashion designers that exist. I think most of them haven't possibly, reached that level of mass production or having that ready-to-wear ability of how the ones that, exist, are now, I think. Hopefully, maybe that will change.
Yeah, that's it. And I think, I think with the sort of power of social media, we can actually, we can use our platforms to promote.
There's designers. Yeah.
And Africa Fashion Week, we can, there's, I think with social media, there's an immediate sort of reach. You have that instant. It just it's very instantaneous.
It is.
That's kind of the power of social media, and I think with that said, it also takes online publications, other initiatives, online community groups to kind of club together and promote fashion more, even more so.
Yeah, you're quite right. I mean, what would you say has been the best style advice you received, or you've ever received?
Oh, about me? Or
it could be you, could be just a style advice you've received and say, wow, that makes sense.
Yeah, I think there was one. I would say I remember one sort of designer, shoe designer who, I mean, it's quite a common sort of saying, as in sort of the higher the heel, the more confident you feel. But I think, to be honest, the best bit of fashion advice would be to, that I generally hear is just to, you've got to wear. Don't allow the clothes to wear you. You've got to wear the clothes, and I think, from a stylist perspective, you've got to. It's just your attitude, your speaks volumes, and that sort of confidence you have and harnesses that comes through. I mean, you could wear, whether it's a Dior coat or whatever it may be, or a high street brand, designer brand. I think if you are confident and you carry yourself well, you'll make that outfit stand out 10 times more.
100%. 100%. I can't agree with you more. If anyone is in doubt, they just need to go to your Instagram page and have a look at those pictures. I mean, even the picture we used for the flyer, I mean, I think that was mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. It's really good.
But that's the thing. It's about being creative with your choices, and, even when it comes down to styling men, I find that's kind of sort of a different experience entirely, where that, male clients are very much, they're more decisive. They know exactly what they want. I'd complete a men's shopping appointment in like maybe 1 hour. It'll be a case of yes, no, I like this, I don't like this. With my female clients, it has been a journey, which I quite like, because you are working with that client and you're kind of transforming them.
Amazing.
So they could come to you as a blank canvas, and then it's kind of up to you to, just throw everything in the mix, and within that they've got to find their way. And when they do, it's great. But I think that it's
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great advice, though. Great advice. What would you never be caught dead, wearing, as a style, as a style icon, what would we not see you wear at all, like?
Yeah, that's
should I say a onesie? I'll be like, no, that's not Natalie, that's not her. It could.
With a pair of arm boots,
What I mean? Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
Yeah, I would say one thing. I think that I'm not a fan of baby doll dresses. I remember wearing them once, and they just don't suit me. So, yeah, I wouldn't kind of go for, like, anything that's too sort of voluminous, voluminous.
Okay.
But, I think that's a definite no-no.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, I want to go to the questions that have come in. So, before we just round up the show. So, if I don't ask your question, ladies and gentlemen, it means that we have addressed that question already. So, I'm going to take the first question. This is Kate from Hendon. Kate is asking a very simple question. What made you decide to start blogging?
Yeah, that's a good question. Things became quiet with the styling, and I needed another creative outlet. And I think with, it's you've got to, as I said before, find a way to sort of reinvent yourself, and kind of look to other creative outlets. And I feel like, writing was, I think I did neglect. I decided to, where I used to go to network quite a bit, I'd attend events and begin to write about them. And before I knew it, brands were reaching out to me. They were like, would love to send you this product, would love for you to review this beauty product, this
amazing
product. And that's pretty much how it started. So I wasn't kind of like a ghost writer.
Yeah.
I publish everything. But I decided to, I was like, okay, I've got, I'm from a writing background. I need to hone in on this now. I need something more.
Yeah.
Evolving,
exactly.
It was right. And I just wanted my own voice. I wanted my own voice to be heard. It's kind of like when you like a backing singer. They're the ones who are, they're holding it. They're at the back. They're giving it their all, and they carry a lot of the stage presence.
Yeah, they do.
Singer.
Okay.
And I think, as a stylist, you're behind the scenes, and it's like you want more.
You want more. Natalie wants more.
Yes.
The unique creative power needs to shine.
Right.
You know what I mean? It needs to come out. Okay, next question from Stacey in Holborn says, what are some of your current fashion obsessions?
Right, yeah, I love jackets. I mean, I'm all about tartan. You know, I love dogtooth prints. I would say that's definitely my sort of go-to at the moment. And, you know, even if it means walking around at home, you know, taking pictures and, you know, for content purposes. And accessories, I do love my bags. You know, I think I just sort of bags and, you know, sort of outerwear, yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, Kemi says, who are your typical clients?
My
typical clients. Who will be your clients? Typical clients.
Typical clients, I would say female, sort of corporate clients, middle-aged, someone who is, you know, they're not entirely sure about they're not entirely confident. They know where they're at, but, you know, they're not sure where they want to be.
Okay.
And I help them get where they want to be in terms of, you know, the fashion.
Okay. This next question, you could decline to answer the question, but it's your choice. It says, this is Tola asking, what are your rates?
My rates, they start from, actually, I'm not going to answer that question. I'm only joking. So my rates start from, no, my rate starts from £350
okay.
a day. So, yeah.
Okay, Tola, here you go. She's told you, you know, you can reach out. Okay, we're having a question from Donna. Donna says, what's your styling process?
Styling process is consultation, research, and then piecing, you know, everything together, going into the store, pre-selecting items, and then that's it. Just working with the client, get them the end result.
Fantastic. And Anna's asking, what's your favorite MAC lipstick color? I mean, you know, I don't understand that, but, you know, you can shed more light to that one. Your favorite MAC lipstick color? Okay.
I think it has to be Rouge or Lady Danger.
Ooh, I would say maybe Lady Danger, because it's Natalie, man. You know, when you see Natalie wear those lipsticks in the pictures, oh my gosh, look at that picture. She's not messing about, you know. Watch what you're saying. You know, she's coming for you. You know what I mean? So.
Exactly. She's there. She's on fire.
She's on fire. Exactly. So Anna, you got the question. You got the answer to that question. Okay. The final question is from Finn. Finn is asking, what type of camera do you use? I think possibly this individual has been on your Instagram page and has been seeing the amazing pictures on there.
Yeah, I mean, my top tip would most definitely be the GX. My recommendation is the Mark II G7X.
Okay.
Now, I use camera for all of my my product imagery. I also have worked with photographers, so I do have a small team, but due to COVID, they're sort of kind of limited. But you'll see from my Instagram page that a lot of the portrait shots were taken by a photographer, but then I mixed it up with my sort of product imagery and so on and so forth. Yes. But I also work with photography, yes.
Okay, fantastic. So those are all the questions, but I want to ask two more questions before we, say bye to this evening. I mean, what advice would you give someone who's trying to start out as a stylist? No experience, nothing. Just think, I've been inspired by Natalie tonight. I can't believe, how amazing this lady is. I'm inspired by her. What would you say to them this evening?
Yeah, I would say to follow, maybe pick or list five of your favorite influencers, and not necessarily content creators. It could be anyone from, I don't know, an athlete or author or someone, but obviously within your respective field, and just research that person. Sort of just look follow their Instagram account just to get ideas. So if, for example, someone's a personal shopper, I read books on, at the time, Trillian and Susanna. I mean, they were kind of like the only sort of fashion experts at the time, so there wasn't really anyone else to kind of aspire to, as it were. But there was another lady who, I think, a couple of sort of US stylists, Jason Rember, I believe, who styles Vuitton. So I would follow key figures who were already very well established, because you find that you learn very much from those who are already there, so to speak.
Fantastic.
Then I would just read books. So I did a lot of what I've learned is through sort of self-reading, through reading, self-taught, and I think where we can't network, I would say join groups as well. So I highly recommend LinkedIn for community groups, industry-related groups, and just sort of that's where you can find, sort of learn various tips and ask questions. And so it's just down to research and, lots of reading, online websites as well, and so that's it.
Amazing.
Key resources.
Okay. And my final question tonight is, what was the last thing you Googled, Natalie?
What's that?
What was the last thing you Googled?
The last thing I Googled?
Yes. You can't make it up. We're going to check. Shades and coffee. Shades and coffee, she said. A good one there.
And that is true.
Shades of coffee, she says. Okay, fantastic. She got out that one right really quickly there, because most people would say, I just say it. You never know. You never know what could be Googled as well.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I need to make a few changes to the pictures, and
Okay, fantastic. Natalie, it's been amazing. The unique expression of creative power from the one and only Natalie Robinson, the award-winning stylist, blogger, innovator, trendsetter. I could go on and on. Celebrity stylist. Amazing. I can't even say. And also you actually won the most innovative celebrity stylist and lifestyle writer in 2020 as well.
That was SME Awards. Yeah, that was an amazing achievement. Amazing. And that was for small, medium enterprises.
Amazing.
And it was great to be recognised. Just very quickly, my last thought that I wanted, the tip to give to everyone is just to never give up. Hold on to that dream. But it takes a while, and you may not be immediately recognised for what you do, in the first year or so. But if you just keep on and you stay true to your journey, then that's it. People find you.
Amazing. Natalie, it's been amazing. It's been great. I've been so inspired this evening. I've learned quite a lot. I mean, don't be surprised if I start becoming a celebrity stylist myself, or a beauty consultant, because you've inspired me so much. I've given me a lot of notes this evening, and I've taken down a lot of notes from the expert this evening. I want to say a big thank you to you for coming on the show this evening. I've had such an amazing time. It's been great. It's been wonderful. But before you go, any final words to my listeners out there?
Stay positive. Just know that everything will be okay.